X-Arm is a sci-fi manga series made by Komi Shinya and High Rock, mostly known for its anime adaptation, which was...
This is not real.
Yeah. Not only was it able to become the lowest rated anime on every single anime list website in existence, but it was also the reason the two authors ended the series prematurely, with the sequel X-Arm Exa having only 10 chapters. Even with the loyal fanbase the series had prior to the anime airing, it just couldn't handle this terrible adaptation. So this brings me to the question, how did X-Arm become the worst anime adaptation of all time, even though the manga is at least decent? Imagine it's the year 2014, J. Cole's Forest Hill Drive just dropped and you're living your best life, even though your brother looks a bit odd. You see a girl being harassed by 3 men across the street. At first you think there's no way I can help her, but then you build up the courage to do so. You run across the street and get hit by a truck. You wake up after a 16-year-long coma in 2030 to find out you're no longer human but a weapon called an X-Arm. In order to regain your humanity, you have to help the anti-X-Arm task force to gather all the other X-Arms before they let you become a human. Now in order to answer this question, we actually have to go to the beginning. X-Vita. X-Vita was a manga series made by Komi Shinya that released in 2011 that ran for 12 chapters spanning 2 volumes, with its original concept being gravity stones and androids with 4-year lifespans. And this manga mostly focused within the relationship of Alma and Minami. This series is what you could call the birth of X-Arm's concept. In 2014, Komi Shinya partners with High Rock to release these. And before you ask, no, this isn't a cringe joke. Apart from this manga cover, there's quite literally nothing I could find on it, and this cover just generally piqued my curiosity even more. 2015 marked the beginning of the original X-Arm series, which was published in the Grand Jump Musha magazine and also digitally published in Shonen Jump Plus from February 18, 2015 to June 26, 2019. 2 months later, the sequel to X-Arm, X-Arm X, was released until February 27, 2021, which was around the time that the 7th episode of the anime aired. Now, I'm not telling you that this manga is great, but it isn't bad, especially 2.93 bad. The art and paneling is interesting and refreshing, the action is actually good compared to the terrible work done in the anime, and the storyline is actually something fresh and new compared to the Shonen Jump catalog that we have today. So what went wrong? The staff. Now before getting into the horrible staff and studio selection, since I know no one's gonna read the manga from this video, here's the entire plot in less than a minute, hopefully. First, Akira, main character, gets saved by Minami and Alma as an X-Arm, and the human bomb arc. This is an arc involving a cult-like group of that believe they can get into heaven if they do this horrible deed. Sound familiar? Because the priest running this entire operation has the ability to brainwash people with his X-Arm's ability. The priest gets killed but they couldn't retrieve his X-Arm. Android Strip Club Massacre arc. A man massacres an entire android strip club while looking for a specific android. Throughout this arc, you see Akira taking over Alma's body and infiltrating as a Alma finds the android the man is looking for, which is called Almida. And just as a simple comparison, this is how she looked in the manga and this is how she looked in the anime. Yeah. And the reasoning behind the guy looking for her is to kill her for killing the entire island he used to live on, because her master wanted an entire country of only androids. Akira gets a powerful suit and Almida is captured. VR generic shonen romance arc. Akira and crew are sent to a VR world to learn about Akira and what happened during the 2020 Tokyo bombing incident. They get the information that it wasn't him but someone that used his body with X-Arm number 11. Next is Transformation X-Arm arc, which doesn't really matter. Point is, X-Arm is retrieved. The final arc that has been translated and I can obviously read is the X-Arm auction arc, which is an auction for a multitude of X-Arms including number 11. The animation studio. Now before getting into it, I'm using the word animation very, and I mean very, loosely. Visual Flight Studios is a company based in Tokyo that mostly focuses on games and gaming content. On their official website, their mission statement is showing the imagination, and throughout the description, the works that they list that they have done are various media such as TV animation, movies, games, game machines, exhibitions, etc. And there's quite literally zero traces of X-Arm in this website. The thing is, this studio is actually amazing because they were involved in the making of Sekiro Shadows Die Twice and the biggest game of the year so far, Elden Ring. But why choose this studio? This brings me to the full X-Arm interview with the director when asked how he prepared for X-Arm.
準備したことはですね、アニメだからという、特別な準備というよりはいつもの実写の時のスタッフを巻き込むということにしました。で、アニメ制作にあたってのアプローチも実写と同じような作り方をさせてほしいということを、制作チームにお願いしました。
Yoshikazu Kimura, also known as a live-action director that directed movies such as High Kick Girl and Karate Girl, wanted to use the live-action process and implement it into the anime workflow. I'm not saying the live-action directors can't direct anime, as people such as Katsuyuki Motohiro went from directing movies such as Tales of the Bizarre and Hunt of a Wolf, then directing Psycho-Pass and the Fully Cooley sequels. But the massive difference between these two directors is that director 1 tried changing the formula of the whole anime workflow, and director number 2 didn't try changing the formula. Instead, they learned and collaborated with the experienced animators. As far as the rest of the staff, they were fine. Most of them are very experienced, and to this day have pretty important roles. Some play roles in Demon Slayer, such as Kito Akari that plays Nezuko. Some play roles in seasonal anime, and some disappeared and haven't done anything in the entertainment industry since. Which brings me to my answer. What went wrong? Well, To make a short list: an incompetent director unwilling to adapt to a new directing style, a game developing studio that has no business making or being involved with an anime, a company too lazy to do background checks on the product being made, a company that has a history of making lackluster adaptations, and finally a company that took advantage of someone's 8 years of work. The two main things I learned because of X-Arm is: 1. You never want to sign your webtoon, manga, or light novel to Crunchyroll. Crunchyroll will always undoubtedly ruin your work. Look at The God of High School, look at The Tower of God compared to its original source, and most recently look at High Spy's Guardian. And 2. If I'm ever demotivated or sad, I'll always remind myself that I'll never be a bigger disappointment than a Crunchyroll original. Now personally, I find it disgusting and even heinous the fact that Crunchyroll didn't bother doing anything. Background checks within the anime staff were non-existent throughout this whole process, and they didn't even bother checking the progress within the anime and how it was going along within the production process. Like, dog, I text my ex more consistently than that. They simply released this terrible ass product and ruined these two mangakas' careers, because something as bad as X-Arm doesn't just disappear. Ludwig is a YouTube live streamer, and he was commenting on a drama that involved a 30-second clip of IShowSpeed being completely misogynistic, and this is what he said.
We grew from this, if anything. But he also has millions of people that now look at him and think of him as nothing but a sexist, which I hope he realizes is pretty fucking sad, because it's impossible to come back from shit like that.
Haruka and Komi Shinya now has millions of people that know them as the creator of the terrible anime X-Arm, because they can't distance themselves from the product, much like the voice actors did by simply not talking about it. They're the creators. Now the director is just as heinous because of his lies. In the trailer, he was challenging all sci-fi series out there, and somehow out of all of them, he got last place. He spent more time lying to Crunchyroll and sending footage of motion capture of scenes that don't even exist in the anime, rather than being the bare minimum competent. And I can't imagine the heartbreak that Komi Shinya and Haruka had to deal with, because they had to let go of a series they spent 8 years developing and falling in love with, because not only one man but a multitude of companies were incompetent in taking care of said product.
Momo, did you hear something? Living by myself, paranoid as hell. Ooh, yesterday's tomorrow. Ooh, but somehow, ooh, I keep on loving you.